I'd like to apologize a little bit for the way I sound in advance. It seems like a malady has come and infested me in my adventures as a human being. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it came from, but I am feeling a little bit ill. I'm feeling a little bit off kilter a little bit, and it's unfortunate. But anyway, let's talk about another thing in my body that doesn't work. My voice box a bit fucked. It's rattling a little bit, it sounds like. But you know what? Another thing that really doesn't work? My brain. I do have a severe lack of knowledge in some place in a category of things that I should know a lot more about. And that's technology. I feel like I'm, very technologically illiterate in the sense that like fixing any problems or even if it comes in like hardware or software, I'm kind of really bad about this. And the thing that kind of made me think about this and the fact that I am kind of a dumbass when it comes to technology overall is for the first time ever, I had to like change a part in a PC that I own. Now I usually get them pre-built just for the sole purpose of like, and I say usually like I've only gotten two in my entire life, but I get them pre-built because I don't trust myself enough to not fuck up important parts of the PC building process, especially anything that like involves the expensive parts like the CPU or anything like that. And so as a result, I always get them pre-built. However, the one that I currently have right now, I needed a fan to get switched out, or a fan or two to get swapped out. And because I guess like it ran out of like lubricant or something that made it like shake really loud and spin really loud, and also didn't really spin fast in any capacity. And I was terrified. I've never done this before. Luckily, it was a fan, not like the CPU or some shit breaking. And I had to look up so many videos. It took me about an hour to get through this entire process. One, because I had to like cut zip ties, but I didn't have a wire cutter and I didn't want to use scissors. So I ended up using like nail clippers to cut the zip tie, which it kind of worked surprisingly effectively. But just figuring out how to do like the daisy chain and everything together and like making sure that I plugged in the right spot was a bit of a difficulty. Like the fans don't even have an RGB lighting going on right now. I really couldn't find the three-pronged thing on the CPU, the motherboard. So yeah, they're just like kind of running in dry. There's two fans that I put in and two fans that I took out. But hey, the PC runs like very like quietly. Everyone's really quietly, and we're kind of happy about it, aren't we? Another thing I want to talk about too that I like is kind of another issue. Me being a kind of a dumbass when it comes to technology. It's like my Ethernet cable stopped working. I was getting really good Wi-Fi hardwired into my PC, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, no big deal. And when I came back from a winter break, because I lived in an apartment for college, when I came back, the Ethernet wasn't working. And I kind of just like took this on the chin for 2 months, 2 or 3 months, just kind of saying like, oh, whatever, it happens to the best of us. And like I legitimately thought for this entire time like something went wrong in my PC. Not like there could have been a possibility that something went wrong on the wire or like the port on the wall. No, this entire time I was like, well, I did something stupid to my PC and I can't fix this. So that's unfortunate. But in reality, after like checking my PC, making sure and like Googling everything that could have possibly been wrong with the actual hardware in my PC and not any other outside forces, I eventually did learn that it was just the port in the wall was fucked up somehow. It somehow got messed up when no one was living in my apartment. And as a result, it just doesn't work in any capacity. So I was probably like trying to fix the Ethernet cable for about like 5 hours cumulative over like a few weeks. And I just eventually realized that there was literally nothing I could have done, and that the issue was literally out of my control. And probably the first thing I should have checked to see is if the wall port was actually working. But I didn't do that. And like this is just a common thing for me, where like I just have to look up legitimately anything ever to happen ever when it comes to just any sort of anything at all. Obviously, a big trend with me is my microphone. Like my microphone peaks a lot. I'm really stupid when it comes to audio devices. Legitimately have no idea what to make it sound better. I had to Google every single one of these new settings that I'm using on my microphone to like try to mellow down the peaks a little bit, because everyone did say to get a pop cover, but guess what? I already have one of those, and so I had to figure out how to fix it up. And instead of like trying myself and trying to understand what each of like the stuff does, like what noise compression does, what a limiter does, what all that fun stuff does, I just kind of Googled it and trial and error, and it kind of sounds good. I think the peaks, as you can see right there, are like a lot more mellow, and they don't actually like blow the fuck out of your ears, which is better than it has been for most of the time I've been using this microphone. So that's kind of a dub scheme. But like my headset, it broke a while ago. The audio still works, except for sometimes I do have to like sometimes it only goes in my right ear, and I had to slap it a little bit, and it goes into both my ears. Don't really know if that's a good thing, but I've been doing that for about a year now, and now once has it not worked. So we're kind of just riding that high a little bit. But like the microphone stopped working. And so it took me about a while to figure out that like, maybe there's something wrong with it. And I had to like Google, I literally posted on Reddit. I'm like, yo, is my microphone cooked? Because I literally did not trust myself to make that determination to see if my microphone was cooked. Because they literally said, yeah, you tried everything. It doesn't work. I was like, damn. I thought there was more things I could have done. I thought eventually I'd be able to like, cauterize or whatever it is, the word for like rewiring stuff and like burning the wires and all that to the headset microphone and make it work again. But I guess not, which is not why I have the mic that I have in front of me now. Like anything that comes to like audio or like wiring audio, like I had to try multiple times to try to rewire the audio on my stream to make so that Spotify doesn't play on Twitch. or like play on the Twitch VOD. So I was trying so hard to fix this, and I finally did. It was kind of a miracle. But I guess like the big conclusion of this, because I can't really go on for much longer. I'm not gonna bore you with any more stories, and also my voice is kind of fucking dying right now. I am probably one of the most technically illiterate people of all time when it comes to just like per pound for pound time spent on the internet, and pound for pound spent like just looking at any sort of like technology overall. Like I've been around technology my entire life. You would think that like at some point through osmosis or whatever, I would be able to figure it out, but no. Can't do that. So yeah, brief little video. I'm losing my mind right now. It's difficult to speak, and I'm trying to project myself so you can hear me, and I'm not just like mumbling into the mic. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say for today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.